baseball's vast universe, there are many different kinds of rivalries. One's born of on-field battles, others from regional pride. Some, though, come not only from our place on the map, but annual tradition. Battles that come but once a year tend to take on a different importance. And tonight, a yearly tradition begins anew. The yearly border battle between the Minnesota Twins and your Milwaukee Brewers begins next.
The homestand continues. Miller Park, Milwaukee. The roof is open, and the first of two against the Twins in this venue, and the first of four against Minnesota as they go interleague here. The Brewers and the Twins, and the former Minnesota Twin, Matt Garza, will get the ball for the first game of this series. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us on a Monday night. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. We'll hear from Sophia Minard in just a little bit as well. Well, Matt Garza gets the ball today, and he's running out of teams who are his former teams. But let me ask you this, partner. When you play the team that you were drafted by and that brought you to the big leagues for the first time, like it was with Garza with the Twins, anything more special to that?
No doubt about that. I had to deal with that. I mean, when I was brought up to the Brewers, I got traded to the Angels, and when we had an opportunity to play the Milwaukee Brewers, there was always a special incentive. You wanted to prove to your old team that they made a mistake by trading you away. But certainly, when you look at Matt Garza, what he's been able to do, his career with the Twins, very short, parts of the 2006-2007 seasons. He's ready to get after it against the Twins once again. His third career start, a .257 earned run average. He's only got the one decision, one loss. But certainly Matt Garza certainly is a guy that has to control his emotions. And when you have a situation like this tonight, with Garza facing his old ball club, it's going to be Luke Croy's job to calm him down. Hopefully Garza's going to be able to get through the first couple of innings unscathed. That's been a problem for him.
Well, Sophia Minard standing by. Garza's not the only one that connects these two franchises. There is a Dominican flair as well. Sophia with more after this.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Fans are filing into Miller Park as we get set to bring you Game 1 of the border battle between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Minnesota Twins. And Matt Garza and Kyle Gibson will face off. But this series will also feature a number of players from the Dominican Republic who are making an impact on the big league level. Brewers All-Stars Carlos Gomez and Gene Segura. And for the Minnesota Twins, Edwin Nunez and Danny Santana. In November, our Fox Sports North and Fox Sports Wisconsin crews had the opportunity to go down to their homeland and speak with these past and present Brewers and Twins players about the love of baseball in their homeland. They told us about it in their native language.
Nuestro país es una mezcla de paraíso y pobreza y produce uno de los mejores jugadores de béisbol.
El darle dominicano a ser una gran superestrella.
El deporte de nuestro país tiene fundación de pasión y tradición y sueño para una vida mejor.
Los jugadores con manos suaves, torturados por los partidos, jugado con niños en las tierras y calles.
Los valientes jugadores,
Gomez lays out and makes the catch.
motivados por una vida de superación,
At the wall, he caught it.
quienes extraen cada pelota como si su vida depende de ellos. Nuestro amor por el deporte y la esperanza que nos da. La esperanza que el béisbol es un camino a la prosperidad.
En esta isla donde hay 10 millones de personas, nos hemos convertido como en campeones del Clásico Mundial Dominicano.
Produciendo jugadores de cualquier otro país. Y tenemos algunas de las estrellas más brillantes del deporte. Esto es béisbol.
Esto es béisbol dominicano.
Esto es béisbol dominicano.
Well, first pitch for the border battle is coming up, but before that, we will take a look at Kyle Lohse's 3-hit complete game performance from yesterday. One of many outstanding pitching performances in baseball yesterday. Craig and Augie will break it down for you coming up after the break.
their game against the Minnesota Twins here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The first of 4 in a row, interleague border battle, Minnesota and Milwaukee. And we're happy to have you aboard here at Miller Park. Craig Kashan and Jerry Augustine back with you. And we're going to talk about what a tremendous day of pitching it turned out to be yesterday, including Kyle Lohse's performance, not only here at Miller Park, but across baseball. 6 complete games, and Kyle Lohse among 2 of those who had complete game shutouts. But you see what Lohse was able to do, of course, against the Cubs. Just the 3-hitter, one of his best pitching performances of his career.
Yeah, and you know what Kyle Lohse, it all starts. He's such a superb pitcher. It all starts with having that good start. And he had that yesterday, right from the beginning. Commanded the strike zone with all his pitches. Then we talked about efficiency. You have to be efficient, but with that, you have to be effective. You got to make all your pitches, throw them to good locations. You put that all together, you have a pretty good outing. And with Kyle Lohse yesterday, one of the best of the year.
Boy, he's on a roll, though, Augie. 7 consecutive decisions won now by Kyle Lohse.
Yeah, he's just throwing the ball real well. You know, when you start getting dialed in, you understand what you have to do. And he's a veteran that understands each and every time. There's nobody better prepared about pitching his game in the game of baseball than Kyle Lohse. He goes out there, he knows what he has to do. He's a student of the game. He's a mentor to our pitchers, and he goes out and he does each and every time.
Well, the Brewers' other big veteran pitcher, of course, is Matt Garza, back out on the hill tonight to face his former team in the Minnesota Twins. Pitched pretty well in his last start, but the one thing that he's still trying to avoid is that one inning of doom.
Yeah, and for him it's so important. It's all about command, and he's got to get a command right from the start. Rick Kranich said it. What's the best pitch in baseball for him right now? Strike one. And that's what he has to do. Get ahead of hitters. Secondly, he has to find that rhythm. And you know, you get in a certain rhythm and a pace on the ball game. You start feeling the game. You start understanding it. You start locating. That's what he has to do. And I'll tell you, lastly, I think he wants to put a finished product on it. He wants to get out there the game, start that game, get that good feeling in the game, get through the game, compete, be able to locate, be efficient, and put a good product on it.
Well, he spent a couple of years with the Minnesota Twins. He will always downplay the fact that he's facing an old team. This is the 5th team now with the Brewers that he's on. Do you believe him?
No. I think anytime you go out there, you want to pitch well. But anytime you have an opportunity to go back to your friends or a place you were before, it's just an added incentive. And, you know, you talk about, is it exciting? Yes, it is. But, you know, it's just something about doing something against a former teammate that makes it just a little bit special. And I'll tell you what, tonight is going to be special for Matt Garza.
All right, Matt Garza on the hill for the Brewers. Kyle Gibson on the hill for the Minnesota Twins. As far as Brewer fans go, what are 3 things we need to know about Gibson?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got a good fastball, and he's a sinker ball pitcher. So it's all about the 2-seam fastball. He will try to get that ball over the plate. When he gets ahead, he'll use his breaker ball. Secondly, he's got to be aggressive. He's got to use that sinker. He has to throw it for strikes, and he will try to throw it for strikes. Lastly, he has struggled on the road. So this is a guy, when you talk about a guy who's pitching on the road and is struggling, he's going to be aggressive, and he's going to try to throw strikes early in counts.
Augie, he's night and day. At home, his ERA is well under 2. On the road, it's just under 8 right now in 5 starts.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just get on the road and you try to do too much. You get out there and you say you want to be too effective. You want to get out there and try too hard and try to be too specific with all your pitches. And when that happens, you make mistakes. But what they'll do against him, you got to be aggressive. You have to be patient. And if you can get the ball up in the zone, he's very hittable.
One thing Lohse had the benefit of yesterday, early run support. Milwaukee jumping on Samardzija early. Obviously, that always helps a pitcher.
Yeah, and when you face a guy like Gibson tonight, if you can get a guy who's struggling on the road, you can get out early, and let's let Matt Garza relax. That's going to play big in tonight's ball game.
All right, the Twins and the Brewers, the first of 4 border battles in a row here. We are looking forward to it here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The Brewers were swept a year ago in this 4-gamer. Time for a little payback tonight. Enjoy it. BN Rocker coming right back.
2025 Marshfield Clinic. Beautiful night for baseball in Milwaukee, and we are ready for the first of 2 games against the Twins here. First of 4 in this interleague series. 81 degrees outside, and it's just a very pleasant night to be at the ballpark. And we're glad you've made your way to us, because we're starting about an hour earlier tonight with a WTMJ promotion. These 2 teams all matched up at 11-11 going back to the 2010 season. However, the Twins have won the last 5 from the Brewers, including the sweep of the 4-game home-and-home interleague series a year ago. There is Ron Gardenhire, longtime skipper of the Minnesota Twins. Took over for Tom Kelly, his 13th year, and over 1,000 managerial wins. His batting order today looks like this. Pitchers will hit in the National League venue. He's got Brian Dozier leading off, leads all second basemen in the American League in homers. Joe Mauer hitting second. How about that? You got Mauer and Braun both hitting second in their respective orders. Trevor Plouffe, he hits in the 3-hole, plays third base. Oswaldo Arcia will be the cleanup hitter in right. Josh Willingham, just back from injury, is in left. Catching tonight is Kurt Suzuki. Bottom 3 is Eduardo Escobar, Danny Santana, and Kyle Gibson, the former first-rounder. And it's a matchup of first-rounders of the Minnesota Twins. Gibson against 2005 draft pick Matt Garza, now with his 5th team, the Milwaukee Brewers.
And you figure he's going to be pretty amped up facing his old ball club. Coming off a rough month of May, 5 starts, 1-1 record, and a .465 earned run average. Lars's last win came all the way back on May 5th against the Diamondbacks right here at Miller Park. You see his numbers overall. Has to avoid problems in the first inning. That's been a deal for Garza, as you can see right there. Look at the earned run average difference. After the first inning, not too bad, but that first inning sometimes costs him a ball game.
Well, Garza in his last 2 starts has been able to get through that first inning unscathed. As we check the Menards Brewers defense, you got Chris Davis in left, Gomez, the former Twin, in center field, Ryan Braun in right. The infield is Mark Reynolds, Gene Segura, Scooter Gennett, and Lyle Overbay, and Jonathan Lucroy will do the catching tonight, trying to navigate Matt Garza against his former club. Mike McClinsky is the home plate umpire. He'll call the balls and strikes. Mark Wegner is the crew chief, the guy to keep an eye on for replay review. Andy Fletcher is over at second base, and Chris Segal is the third base umpire. So all the pieces put in place here tonight. Ron Renicky and the Brewers coming off a series win against the Chicago Cubs, and Rock, it was a brilliant performance by Kyle Lohse yesterday. He went the distance in just 93 pitches, and Matt Garza hoping to do more of the same here tonight against the Twins.
Yeah, Matt Garza's going to have to do basically what Lohse did yesterday, even with a big lead, getting ahead in the count, not messing around, didn't walk anybody, and that's what you have to do. A 9-0 lead for the Brewers, and Kyle Lohse able to navigate his way through a complete game shutout with the big lead. Throwing all of his pitches early for strikes, and that's what Garza has to do here today.
And we are hoping to have a chat with Kyle Lohse tonight in the 3rd inning of our game. He's agreed to put a headset on in the dugout. We always look forward to that. Now, Matt Garza almost ready to deliver his first pitch. A little bit unusual start time on a Monday night. Instead of 7:10, we're going to get underway a little after 6:20. And Garza's first pitch to Brian Dozier is in there for a strike. Dozier's having a great year. 11 home runs, the best mark among all American League second basemen. He's driven in 27. And although he's hitting just .231, he still has an on-base percentage of .333. And he's a guy, Rock, that is making a name for himself quickly in the American League.
Yeah, a lot of pop out of that leadoff spot and a second baseman. The Twins are very excited about the way Dozier's been going about it. You know, early in his career, they've been moving around to different spots, shortstop, second base, but Dozier not only has packed some punch in that bat, but pretty patient at the plate.
That's pretty much the theme of this entire Twins team, and it'll be key for Garza to try to get through this batting order without having his pitch count go up. That's the plan for Gardenhire. Try to get the starting pitchers out of the game. The Twins do strike out a lot, but they see a ton of pitches, among the leaders in the American League in that category.
So it's going to be important for this Brewers rotation the next 4 days to be able to be efficient with their pitches, knowing that the Twins are going to be taking a lot. They walk a lot, but they punch out a lot as well. That's a combination you don't see much of.
Here's a 2-2, and Dozier fouls it away. Well, Dozier and Carlos Gomez, two of the three players in the major leagues, Charlie Blackmon is the other, that has posted at least 10 home runs and at least 10 stolen bases. So after a couple of months of the season, you only have three players in the big leagues with double-digit totals in homers and steals, and two of them in this series this week. As Dozier pulls that one foul, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Neil Walker of the Pirates, the only other second baseman in the major leagues with double-digit homers. Dozier at the top of the list.
And Dozier with 12 stolen bases of the 31 bags for the Minnesota Twins. So other than Dozier, you don't have to worry about too many of these guys trying to take off on you. That's certainly something that is an advantage if you're a pitcher out there. You don't have to really pay much attention to some of these guys.
Pitch number 8 of the opening at bat of the night. 2-2, and Dozier puts that one in play. Mark Reynolds is there, and the throw is in time. So Garza starts his night with a ground out to third, and that'll bring up Joe Mauer. Well, could you have imagined a day just a few years ago when you'd see Joe Mauer and Ryan Braun hit second in the lineup in the same game?
Yeah, a little bit more unusual for Ryan Braun because he's a run producer. Joe Mauer not so much, especially this year. Numbers with men in scoring position not very good. He's not walking as much as he used to. I think maybe knowing that this team's not scoring a lot of runs, maybe he's thinking he needs to put it all on himself and swinging the pitches out of the zone perhaps. Don't know. Haven't seen much of him.
Takes the first pitch, a strike from Garza. Mauer's catching days are over. Concussion suffered last year in August has ended that part of his career. He's now a first baseman. He's been a great hitter over the years, and he certainly has been a great hitter at Miller Park. Only Marlon Byrd with a higher batting average as he rips one down the left field line. That's fair, and extra bases for Mauer. The Brewers even haven't played over there, but he still was able to slap one down the line.
He does that better than anybody. Taking that pitch that's away from him and driving it into the opposite field. Two-seam fastball from Matt Garza. Got a little bit too much of the plate. It was up in the strike zone, and Joe Mauer able to slice that one inside the left field line for a one-out double. And just a perfect approach on a pitch away from him. Waiting back, getting on top of it, and hitting a line drive to left field.
Yeah, most of his hits coming to center field or to the opposite field at this point after 2 months. So Mauer at second base for Trevor Plouffe. He's been their best run producer this season. Plouffe with 34 driven in, and he has just 5 home runs. Now the Twins coming off a series in New York as their road trip continues. Just a quick 5-game road trip for Minnesota. They took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. Scored 6 runs in the 9th inning yesterday. They were down 2-1 going into the 9th. Facing the Yankees closer David Robertson, but Garden Hires Club scoring 6 times in the inning. They won 7-2, and they got out of New York with a series victory over the Yankees.
Life a little bit different for the Yankees without Mariano Rivera, right?
No doubt.
All of a sudden the closer is human and he will give up some runs. This is one of the areas that the Twins have not been very good. Runners in scoring position, hitting .224 as a team. So when you do that and you don't hit many homers, they have a tough time scoring runs.
They play in a tough home run ballpark in Target Field. There's a little half swing. Garza got to make a play here, and Garza fires to first in time. You say that with a little more emphasis with Matt Garza because of his history throwing the ball to first base, but when he has to hurry it over there, he's usually at his best.
Yeah, when he doesn't have a whole lot of time to think about his throw, that's when he has his problems, and he's not the only one. You see pitchers do that all the time, but Garza picks it up and throws a strike to first base. You see infielders have that issue. Guys at third have some time, take a couple of crow hops and try and goose it over there and throw it away.
Well, a perfect throw to get Plouffe. 2 outs in the inning. Here is Oswaldo Arcia. Just coming back from the disabled list. This is only his 12th game. And in that cleanup spot for Gardenhire. Has a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs in 11 games.
Straight down right off the corner of the plate and into fair territory. And a nice play by Garza to get him.
Didn't mean to do it. An excuse me hack. Now the Twins are hopeful now that they've got Arcia back and Willingham, who hit back-to-back in this order, that their offensive numbers, especially their power numbers, are going to increase. Last year, Arcia hit 14 home runs, and that led all American League rookies. He and Willingham both out with hand injuries.
There's a big hack right there. Better be loose when you take a swing like that. Pitch out of the zone.
Arcia's younger brother is in the Brewers organization, one of the many connections with these two franchises. There's a swing and a miss. Big hack again, and it goes to 2-2.
Yeah, there's some good velocity for Garza already. First inning, 95 miles an hour. He's got it in him, but oftentimes doesn't really use it all that much. But back-to-back fastballs in the mid-90s, and that was right down the middle.
Little jam shot, roller to first, Overbay right next to the bag, and Garza puts up a 0 in the first. The Brewers are coming up now. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. And by Gerhardt's, the kitchen and bath store. Find inspirational design solutions and quality kitchen and bath products for your home. Visit GerhardtStore.com. The juggling vendors of Miller Park. Monday night here. Great to have you with us. Brewers and the Twins for the first time. Gene Segura will lead off for the Brew Crew. Twins bring 4 to the plate in the top of the first. They got a double from Mauer, but Garza puts up a 0. And now Kyle Gibson
will match Garza. Gibson, the sinker ball specialist, former first-round draft pick. Craig and Augie talked about the discrepancy of home and road for Gibson as Segura in the air to left, and Willingham is there for the first out. That's all right-hander Rocket, 6'6", Midwest native from Greenfield, Indiana.
Yep, out of the University of Missouri. You mentioned he's the #1 draft choice for the Twins back in 2009. Gibson won his first 3 decisions, first 3 starts actually, and he's only had 1 win since, making his 6th road start, and that's important for the numbers that everybody's been talking about. Road earned run average around 8. He's only given up 3 home runs. That's a testament to that good sinker.
Here's Ryan Braun back in the 2 spot in the order tonight. Well, the Brewers going with their left-handed version of their order. They got the 2 lefties in the lineup tonight with Scooter Gennett and Lyle Overbay against the tall right-hander. Braun coming off a good series against the Chicago Cubs. Had 2 two-run home runs in that series against the Cubs. And the first 2 home runs of the year at Miller Park for Ryan Braun. This was on Friday. A 2-run shot to the opposite field. Got the Brewers jump started. And then Powerball home run number 9 for Ryan Braun yesterday. A first inning 2-run shot that he pulled to left. There's a little cue shot over his Mauer, and Gibson is there for him. And 2 quick outs. How about the Minnesota defense, Rock, courtesy of Menards?
Well, they have pretty good numbers. They're currently ranked 4th in fielding percentage in the American League. They've committed only 29 errors this year. They like Brian Dozier at second base. Joe Mauer from behind the plate over to first base full time. Kurt Suzuki back behind home plate. And you can see the statistics for Joe Mauer. No errors in his last 40 or so starts. I think the transition to first base has affected Mauer a little bit offensively. I think it's something that he's not used to. He's thinking about a little bit more than he has. Certainly worrying about positioning and making certain plays that he really didn't have to deal with as a catcher. That came naturally to him.
Well, Mauer has said as much. He told Buster Posey in a recent series with the Giants, an interleague series the Twins had in San Francisco, catch as long as you can. Concussions forced Mauer out from behind the plate. Jonathan Lucroy can speak to that. He's been playing a little first base over the last few weeks, but still considered the primary catcher. And maybe down the road in his career, Lucroy would make the move to first, but still an excellent catcher and enjoys that position.
Yeah, and even when you're only playing over there once in a while, in your mind that your safe haven behind home plate is coming up the next day, as opposed to knowing you're going to be at first base full time. It puts a little bit more pressure on you defensively, and you think a lot more about it.
2 balls and a strike on Lucroy, and that one's down and away. 3-1 the count. Lucroy is swinging the bat. He comes in with a batting average of .317, 6th best in the National League. A couple of spots ahead of his teammate Carlos Gomez, who hits next. Gomez is 8th in the league. Lucroy also up there in doubles. He's 3rd, but he's just 1 double shy of the league leaders. There's a spinner in there for a strike. 3-2.
Yeah, sinker slider, basically what the Brewers are going to see. Every now and again he'll flip a curveball up there, maybe an occasional changeup, but basically 2 pitches that the Brewers are going to see tonight.
Gibson deals a 3-2, and Lucroy spoils it foul. Lucroy with 2 homers, 22 driven in. And once he was put into the 3 spot in the order in the absence of Aramis Ramirez, all those pieces got put back together, but it was really Lucroy that precipitated the move because he was swinging the bat so well. Looks like a 3-hole hitter. They put him in there, and the Brewers have had a lot of success. Dozier makes the play to get Lucroy to end the inning. And Kyle Gibson a 1-2-3 first.
Clinic. We head to the second no score between the Brewers and the Twins, and every border battle needs its traveling trophy. The Badgers and the Gophers have Paul Bunyan's axe, and now the Brewers and Twins have a set of bowling balls. Now this came to be from the Major League Baseball industry meetings that took place in Orlando in November. So all the teams went out. There was a 30 clubs and 30 lanes bowling tournament, and each team received team-branded bowling balls. And there was a little bit of a mix-up. The Brewers received the Twins ball. The Twins received the Brewers ball. So the Brewers decided to hold the Twins ball hostage, and it is now the traveling trophy for this series. And BA and Rock, I believe you have the traveling trophies up there with you.
Absolutely. They're not the easiest travel companions, though, these bowling balls. And I'm not a bowling expert by any means, but these bowling balls don't have any holes in them.
Well,
so they're hard for me to bowl.
Well, they're drilled to certain specs. I mean, if it's your bowling ball, they would have drilled it perfectly for your hand.
Oh, I see.
You know, you just can't randomly drill a bowling ball.
I see. We're ahead of the game a little as Willingham singles to left. Second hit against Matt Garza. Josh Willingham with a base hit.
Can you get this through security on the airplane? I mean, do we have to take him to Minnesota?
You got to carry him.
I'm not
one
carrying
under each arm.
We have a weight restriction on our hand luggage, don't we? It's a nice bowling. I don't bowl. Do you bowl?
No, I don't. No.
I mean, I'd like to, but I got this trick elbow that I just can't do it.
I'm kind of into the mini bowling now that I've heard the story from Drew Olson, our buddy Drew. You know, the little skee balls.
Duck pins, you mean?
Yeah, try that out.
The little pins?
The little pins. Kurt Suzuki takes a strike. That's the problem with the bowling balls, though. Now you don't know what to do with them because they're kind of in the way and they're extremely
Have Renee take
heavy.
Them back to the back of the booth.
These are like 16-pounders.
Yeah, Mike then. I'll take him back after the inning.
I'll just sit with him right here. Strike two to Suzuki.
Did you know the bowling balls were coming down today?
I had no idea.
Yeah, I just showed up.
No idea. They're nice, though. I saw on Instagram, you know, they did the little bit where the Twins ball went down the gutter and then the Brewers ball was a strike. But that was pretty impressive now that I see these bowling balls don't have any holes in them. Have to go the palm ball grip. Garza misses inside. Well, Mauer and Willingham with the hit so far. Garza getting 3 ground ball outs in the first inning. He's got a lot of life on his fastball early. Right off the foot of Suzuki.
He got some sink to his fastball, the 4-seamer that he tries to put on the outside corner. Cleats these days don't provide a lot of protection. They're so lightweight, and not a lot of protection on the feet. Not like the old days with the old leather soles and heavy leather cleats. They protect you a little bit, but not these. Like wearing slippers.
See what Garza gives him here. 1-2 in the air to center field. Gomez shading his eyes as the sun coming in through the panels. Makes the play for the first out. Back to first goes Willingham. It's got to be special for Carlos Gomez as well. He and Garza, the former Twins, matching up against their old team. Carlos Gomez scored one of the great runs, great moments in Twins history in that tiebreaker game, scoring the winning run that allowed the Twins to advance. And then he scored the winning run that allowed the Brewers to advance just a few years after that. 2011, when the Brewers beat the Diamondbacks, advancing to the LCS. Garza was not in Minnesota long as he deals strike 1 to Eduardo Escobar.
In 2006, 2007, parts of both of those years, made only 24 starts for the Twins. There's his numbers, 8 and 13. Earned run average of about 4.5.
Now, Garza was drafted in the first round of 05 and was in the big leagues the next season. But the trade from the Twins to the Tampa Bay Rays started the string of 3 trades in his career. Garza now pitching for his 5th team, the Brewers, and hoping he has a home for a while. Signed a 4-year deal with Milwaukee. One of the most sought after free agents this offseason. Bouncing ball over Bay. The lefty goes to second. Segura's return in time. Escobar bounces into a 3-6-3 double play. He's given up a couple of hits. Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery. Lyle Overbay starting a beautiful 3-6-3 double play. Rock, just something about a left-handed first baseman who can play the bag that well defensively.
And playing in and very confident in being able to jump off that bag. And a left-hander just has to flip it to second base and get back. Kyle Lohse does that as well as anyone.
Here's Carlos Gomez to lead off. Gomez, Davis, and Jeanette coming up here against the tall right-hander Gibson. That one's high in the air, fair territory, and Nauer wants it. 1 pitch and 1 out in this second inning. Now Overbay put it right on the money for Segura.
Yep, be able to clear the runner, and you can see Segura dropping down a little bit to be able to clear the runner coming in on him. That was Josh Willingham. Well done. Looks easy when it's that slow, right?
I'll tell you, Phantom Cam gives us the opportunity to see so much that we've never seen. What was interesting about that is you could see how Segura found the laces of the baseball. You know, he's catching a ball from Overbay, and from the time that the ball hits the leather till he takes it out with his bare hand, he's already gotten it across the seams to throw essentially a 4-seam fastball over to first base.
And that's what separates big leaguers from the average Joe. Most guys get it out of the glove no matter where it is in the hand. You always want to put it across the seams, your middle finger, index finger, to get a true flight of the baseball, and that's when you're most accurate. You know, big leaguers can do that, and you don't even know it.
0-2 to Chris Davis.
And we first saw that on Phantom Cam last year with Yadier Molina making the throw to second base.
I remember that.
Very difficult thing to do. Not many catchers can do that. You don't have enough time.
Here comes the sinker from Gibson, and Davis takes a ball low. This is what we're talking about. He's already got it in the grip.
And watch the way the elbow comes around, and you can see the torque that is put on that elbow when you throw a baseball. You wonder why how many guys have so many injuries. That's why. A lot of pressure on the joints.
Now Davis hanging tough. His hitting streak was snapped yesterday. Davis at the plate was 0 for 4 yesterday, although he did score a run. Had a 9-game hitting streak come to an end yesterday against the Cubs. Big chopper out to short. Eduardo Escobar makes the play. 2 up, 2 down. And here comes Scooter Gennett. Had a nice day yesterday and went line to line yesterday, Rock.
And you break down his 2 swings. One on the left is a double to left field. Yeah, watch it where he makes the point of contact is out here. Now check out the shoulders. Shoulders are in real good shape. Same thing over here, but it makes contact out in front. That's the difference between hitting a ball to left, hitting the ball to right. Exactly the same swing. You don't change your swing at all. It's just about the point of contact. Scooter does it well there.
Jeanette showing bunt briefly. Yeah, Scooter had 3 hits yesterday. At one point had 5 consecutive hits going across a couple of games against the Cubs. So he's 5 for his last 6 at the plate. Comes in batting .281. And he slices that one into center field. Santana makes the play in a 3 up 3 down inning for Kyle Gibson. First rewind, we take you back to yesterday and the gem that Kyle Lohse delivered, a 93-pitch effort, complete game, a shutout. It was a 3-hitter, one of the best games of his career, certainly as a Brewer as well. That's 6 strikeouts, and Lohse picking up the win. It's a 7-game winning streak now, and it's 7-1. And Kyle is kind enough to join us. That's the kind of setup every pitcher would hope for, right? Great effort yesterday.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it again.
Give us some perspective. Where does that sit? You've had a lot of great games in your career. Where's that one belong for you?
That one was up there. You know, you combine the offensive contribution that I put in there. You know, I think that was probably one of the best ones I've been able to roll out.
I feel bad we didn't put your RBIs and your hits in there.
Yeah.
Did have 2 RBIs and 2 hits.
Yeah, you can't forget about that. That doesn't happen very often. So, yeah, thanks for bringing it up. I think actually I did.
Nice. Kyle, how difficult is it? Does it change your approach a little bit when you have a big lead? Like the team was able to give you some runs. Do you have to change your routine a little bit out there on the mound?
No, you're basically trying to stick to. What do I got here? Oh, nice. No, basically you're trying to ignore distractions, kind of like that. And you know, I've gotten better at doing that out there on the mound. You try to approach each pitch as the same as you would a 0-0 ball game or 9-0 like we had yesterday.
You know, it seems as though you go out there and you have 3 pitches. You know, you have the 4 pitches basically that you work into a game, and 3 of them always seem to be working for you. But yesterday it seemed like all of them you were able to throw for strikes even early in the count.
Yeah, we had a good mix going. You know, some days I have the slider and don't have the changeup. Some days it's the opposite. You know, I've worked really hard this year getting the curveball to be something I could use more as a weapon rather than just a first pitch strike kind of thing. And you know, I've gotten better as the season gone on. And you know, yesterday I pretty much had all 4 working. And when you combine that with the guys swinging early in the count, it's conducive to a really quick game.
There's a swing and a miss by Santana as Matt Garza picks up the strikeout, his first. Hey, Kyle, you could speak to this. We've talked a little bit here at the outset of this game about Garza pitching against his former team. A little bit different in that he was drafted by the Twins, brought to the big leagues by the Twins. But you pitch for the Twins. Is there anything to that when you match up against a team you used to play for, especially maybe a team that traded you?
Yeah, I mean, you try to take the same approach. Like I said, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You know, guys change teams so often. Like this team, for instance, there's probably 2 guys maybe that he played with. You know, I'm looking at it, and Mauer's the only guy I think I played with from 6-7 years ago. You know, so it's a completely different team, but you know, it's kind of more fun to go back to that city maybe and go play there.
Garza delivering a strike to Kyle Gibson. Well, just give us some perspective, Kyle, on your season so far, on what you've seen from the pitching staff at this point, especially the starters. You guys seem to have a nice group. You're funny. You guys get along with each other. As Garza picks up his 2nd strikeout, give us your 2-month evaluation of what you've seen from the staff so far.
I feel like we've done a pretty good job being consistent, going out there. You know, a lot of people talk about the quality starts, but I think a lot of our quality starts are better than the 6-inning 3 runs thing. And you know, we've been doing a good job of eating up the innings for the most part. We got, like you said, a good tight group. We mess around with each other obviously a lot, and it's kind of, you keep each other on your toes. You know, we're sometimes brutally honest with each other about something that happened. You know, we go out and give each other a hard time while we're watching the bullpens. I get a lot of flack from the guys about how slow I throw, and they'll tell me it's a great changeup on my fastball, stuff like that. You know, so it's you know, it's good fun. You know, we got each other's backs when it comes down to it.
It's good to hear, man. It seems like that. That's the impression we get. Looks like Giovanni's keeping your seat warm. We'll let you get back to it. Thanks for spending a little time with us.
I had my towel ready because last time it sprung a leak.
That's Kyle Lohse, yesterday's winner, and we always appreciate Kyle giving us a few minutes from the dugout. And coming off a start like that, we felt like today was the day to maybe hear from Kyle Lohse. And these guys, they poke a lot of fun at each other, but they're all business when they need to be as well, which is what you like to see.
Yeah, you can do that when you're winning, and this team has certainly been able to win a lot of games. They're currently 11 games over 500, sitting at first place. And Kyle Lohse lost his first start of the year and has not lost a game since. That's how good he's been.
7 in a row for Lohse. He is inside the top 10 in the league in earned run average. Pitching like an all-star right now. There's a swing and a miss. Garza's dialed up so far today. He strikes out the side as we head to the bottom of the third. Twins series on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Marshfield Clinic. And take a look at today's Feldco All-Star voting update. The Brewers have 8 players on this year's ballot. You can cast your vote for them at Brewers.com. Aramis Ramirez second right now among the National League third baseman, and hoping to return to the ball club soon. Most likely it will be on Wednesday in Minnesota as the designated hitter, but there's still that chance he could come back tomorrow. Ramirez is playing another game tonight in Appleton for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. About an hour and a half key to key from here to there to get Ramirez his minor league rehab at bats in.
Yeah, beautiful ballpark up there for the T-Rats, and great location up there in the Fox Valley.
Mark Reynolds leads the way for the Brewers, and a big swing and a foul. 1-2 the count.
Ever been up there?
Oh yeah,
Fox Valley. See the stadium?
I have. Right on the highway, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
That is a great venue. One of the better ballparks in single A ball. Speaking of Aramis, let's check in with Sophia. She has an update.
Well, after going 0 for 2 in yesterday's game, Aramis Ramirez went 2 for 4 today. He was DHing today. Ron Renneke saying before the game the plan is for him to have tomorrow off, activate him Wednesday, use him as a designated hitter in Minnesota, and hopefully get him out and play some defense in that final game.
All right, Sophia, thank you. As Reynolds, Ramirez's replacement, strikes out for the first out of the third.
Yeah, good sign that Ramirez had 4 at bats. Apparently the hamstring is doing well. Actually, obviously running the bases. Not sure how much he was stretching it out, but I guess that was a plan all along. You know, play a couple of games, get tomorrow off, and then head to Minnesota with the club. That will be a nice addition to a lineup that has been pretty productive lately.
Yeah, good problem to have for Renneke as Lyle Overbay bats with 1 away. Where do you put Aramis Ramirez in the batting order? Typically he would hit 4th behind Ryan Braun, but since the lineup has been juggled so much since he's been out, that is a big discussion. I know Renneke and the coaching staff and the front office personnel, they're looking through the numbers. They're trying to figure out where the best spot would be to put him.
And it'd be tough to shake up the first 4 in this batting order right now. That might not happen right away, but ultimately Ron Renneke likes Ramirez in the cleanup spot. Might not start that way when he first comes back.
Two and one to Overbay. Lyle had a big hit yesterday. It was a 4-0 game. They had Samardzija on the ropes early. And Overbay came up with 2 outs and the bases loaded, and he drove one down the left field line, cleared the bases. It was a 3 RBI double for Overbay and busted the game open a little bit. It made it 7-0 at that time. The Brewers would win 9-0. And 3 lopsided affairs against the Cubs. The Brewers won 2 of them, and what that means leading into this Twin series and a road trip coming up is that the bullpen is about as fresh as it has been all year. Hadn't really needed your close game relievers. So guys like Frankie Rodriguez and Will Smith, Brandon Kinsler, they have not worked all that much, so they should be well rested as we enter what will be another tough road trip coming up.
Man, they're even more important when you go on the road, that's for sure.
Overbay pulls one to first. There is Mauer, who drops the ball but recovers in time to get Overbay.
Well, it's not pretty, but he got the job done. We mentioned when we first talked about the defense for the Twins that Mauer has not committed an error in a while, but they're pretty close there. You don't get style points in baseball. You get an out or you don't, and he got the out there. Hey, get your tickets to see the Red Hot Brew Crew take on the Cincinnati Reds June 13th through Sunday, June 15th in an NL Central battle at Miller Park. Call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com today. It's going to be the only 3 games at Miller Park for the Brewers for a long stretch.
Garza shoots one foul just above the Brewers dugout. Yeah, that 3-game series with the Reds is in the middle of a stretch of 16 out of 19 days on the road, 15 out of 18 games. A chopper to second. Garza is out, and Kyle Gibson retires the side in order, first time through. Mauer leads off. Just picking us up, you're thinking, well, it's 7:10. It's time for baseball. Where you been? We started early tonight. Not your fault. 6:20 first pitch tonight. A promotion for 6:20 a.m. WTMJ. It's Carsoup.com trivia question. Which current Brewers players also played for the Twins? We'll have the answer for you a little bit later in the broadcast. We're back to a normal starting time tomorrow, by the way. On the air at 6:30 for Brewers Live, 7:10 first pitch. It'll be Giovanni Gallardo against Samuel Deduno tomorrow. And Gallardo coming off a win his last time out against the Orioles, a day after he won the game with his bat in a pinch hitting role against Baltimore. Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the O's, took 2 of 3 from the Cubs, and now a 2-game series with the Twins. Joe Mauer will lead it off. Doubled his last time up. Garza's given up 2 hits, but he's faced 1 over the minimum. Got a double play ball to end the second inning. Kyle Gibson of the Twins, 9 up, 9 down first time through with a strikeout. The heavy hitting Brewers silenced in that first trip through.
Unusual for Gibson, given that he's pitching on the road tonight. He has been beat up pretty good away from Target Field this year, but it's early yet.
Ball and a strike on Mauer. Now Mauer has a pretty significant streak going at the plate as well. If you talk about just interleague games, he has a 19-game hitting streak in interleague games. He continues to swing the bat well at Miller Park. It's always been one of his favorite venues.
It's a good hitter's ballpark for everybody. And Brewers really without left-handed starters for the most part. They haven't had many in there since Mauer's been around. Just to face right-handed pitching in a pretty good hitter's ballpark.
1-2 the count, and Mauer takes a ball. Didn't miss by much. Garza wanted that call.
And tried to backdoor the slider that time. You can see Lucroy right on the outside corner. So how these guys take these pitches and not get rung up is beyond me.
Mauer, a 3-time batting champion. Going to be interesting to see if Mauer makes the All-Star team this year. Has not had a great year, but the All-Star game is in Minneapolis this season. See the All-Star patch on the sleeve. That ball's hit deep into left center field. Long run. Mauer sends it off the base of the wall, and it's another double. Joe Mauer's 2 for 2 with 2 opposite field doubles tonight.
They got a high breaking pitch that time, the slider. He tried to backdoor the slider on a 1-2 pitch. Didn't get the call, and a couple of pitches later, Garza hangs one, actually a changeup that time, up in the strike zone, and Mauer really waits back nicely on off speed and drives that one off the base of the fence.
A leadoff double for the number 2 hitter, Joe Mauer.
I mean, look at the Twins roster. I mean, every team has to have a player represent them. And you just wonder who that's going to be for the Twins.
A rare first pitch swing as Plouffe flies out. Well, you figure Mauer, of all guys to represent the Twins. Here's a look at that pitch you're talking about, Rock.
Change up. You know, if it came in that slow, I'd be a Hall of Famer. You can see the way Joe Mauer able to wait back. He hits that back right back in his stance. I mean, that is just good hitting. He stays on the fastball, able to way back on the changeup, and lets it travel and knocks it off the wall and left.
That is a professional cameraman at work down there on the Phantom Cam.
Got to have a steady hand, don't you?
Outstanding look at the pitch on the way to the plate. That's our man Gibby down there on Phantom Cam tonight. Kind of making that Phantom Cam his own down there. We love this camera as the technology improves. There's Gibby. No balls and a strike and a swing and a miss. Arcia has chased that high fastball tonight.
Yeah, for a team that is supposed to be very selective at the plate, they've been on the attack early tonight. Arcia has been swinging at high fastballs in his first couple of at-bats. See how high he will go. Just throw another one up there.
0-2. Mauer takes his lead at second. And down he goes. He went with a breaking ball this time. And Arcia strikes out. Garza's fourth K.
Making short work of Arcia. 3 pitches, a couple of fastballs. I should say slider, fastball, slider, perfectly located down and in.
So after the leadoff double, Garza a chance to get out of this inning. Facing Josh Willingham, who singled in the second inning.
There's a slider going down and in. Arcia very aggressive, and see how far out in front he is. That bat through the strike zone before the ball gets there.
Garza struck out the side in the third. Facing the red hot Willingham, just back from the DL, and he's started up swinging the bat well. Willingham went on the disabled list the first week of April. April 7th was hit in the hand, a hit by pitch. But he has come back. He's now 7 for his last 17 at the plate, and 3 of those 7 hits are home runs, including a game tying home run yesterday in the 9th inning at Yankee Stadium. That started a 6-run rally for the Twins yesterday.
Kind of a tight zone for Mike McClinsky back there tonight. A pretty good pitch. Making him throw it down the middle tonight, apparently.
Got a base open at first. Willingham, let's see if he has the green light here. 3-0. And there's a strike. Willingham once hit 2 grand slams in a game here at Miller Park, back when he was playing for the Washington Nationals. "35 years of age now. A lot of folks wondering how much he has in the tank as a hitter. He'd probably be in the DH role quite a bit once they get back to a setting of American League rules.
And not a lot of mobility in the outfield, but they have to keep his bat in the lineup somehow.
3 balls and a strike, and Willingham takes strike 2. Garza's got good life on his fastball tonight.
Yes, he does. 94 miles an hour, and that had the corner. Willingham starting to take the shin guard off, thinking he walked.
Full count, 2 outs. Mauer a leadoff double at second, and Willingham fouls it off.
Amazing. You think these guys go up there with a man at second base and 2 outs. You'd think they'd want to go up there and drive him in. They're more looking for walks these days.
Leave it for the next guy.
Yeah, let the next guy drive him in. I'm going to take first base here.
That's a significant change.
Absolutely.
In the game.
No doubt.
Across a generation. Especially with the Twins' offensive philosophy. See a lot of pitches.
Full count again. And that one is inside. Didn't miss by much, but Garza loses him. Willingham draws the 2-out walk. And we'll leave it up to Kurt Suzuki with 2 gone.
Supposed to be on the outside corner. Ends up just missing the inside corner, apparently. Mike McClinsky having a tough time back there already. It's in the 4th inning. A lot of these pitches on Fox tracks seem to be strikes.
So 2 outs. And here is Suzuki. First pitch breaking ball in there for a strike. Kurt Suzuki back in the American League. Longtime Oakland Athletic. Spent some time with the Washington Nationals for a couple of years. Actually traded back to Oakland last year. Good catcher. And he's swinging the bat this season.
Yeah, not known for his offense, but hitting around 300, driving in a bunch of runs.
Getting on base a lot. On base percentage of .365. And Garza's got him down in a hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, run producers for the Twins these days. Trevor Plouffe, Kurt Suzuki, and Brian Dozier. Kind of a changing of the guard in Minnesota. Joe Mauer with only 15 RBIs this year.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Suzuki has 28 as the catcher. He did a lot for the Nationals when he was traded to Washington a couple of years ago. Helped him get to the postseason. There's a called strike 3. Suzuki not happy with the call. Mike McClinsky's had that tight zone, but he rings him up to end the inning.
Twins Brewers no score. And tonight's time of the game winner, Southside Tap and Cafe in Sparta. That's up there by La Crosse, if you didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Sparta.
Everybody knows that.
If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. And so for courtesy of the Tavern Liquor Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
I think on our drive to Minneapolis Wednesday, we could stop by Sparta, huh?
No, you got to head up the other direction a little bit.
I see.
You can't. You got to go up toward La Crosse, that little spur off by Toma.
So not exactly on the way.
Yeah, stay on 94. You won't hit Sparta.
Okay. Well, here we go to the bottom of the 4th, and Kyle Gibson 9 up, 9 down to start it, and now second time through the batting order. Garza getting a friendly call to end that last inning. 5 strikeouts now. Scoreless game. The Twins have 3 hits. Mauer has 2 of them with 2 doubles. And we'll see if the Brewers can solve the riddle of Kyle Gibson as they see him for the second time. Bouncing ball, that's foul. Quick call and right between the wickets of the security guard. Third base umpire Chris Segal over there was right on it.
That's pretty close. Ball bounced before it got to third base. Not reviewable because it's in front of the umpire.
Two balls and a strike on the Brewer leadoff hitter. And he shows bunt, gets a good one down. No chance. Infield hit for Gene Segura.
Well, not much better you can do than that. Gene Segura deadens that beautifully right down the third baseline. And I don't care who you are bouncing off that mound, you're not going to get Segura on a bunt like that. Hides it well. Right at the last minute, drops the bunt down, and he kind of is in cruise mode right there. He knew he had a base hit.
6 bunt hits this year for Segura. And he's been doing that a lot more in the leadoff spot. Started hitting leadoff on the 21st, actually the 22nd of May. And that's about the time the Brewers offense started churning. Braun put in the 2 spot. He's had great success in that role. And now we'll see if the Brewers start to put some action on here. Their first hit is a bunt single.
And it gives him fairly slow to home plate. You know, American League teams run on him a bit. And Segura 10 for 16. And a lot of those caught stealings came early in the year.
I talked to Braun about hitting second in this kind of situation here with Segura on and nobody out. And, you know, Braun, he's always been a guy that will allow the runner in front of him to steal a base. He'd rather have a runner in scoring position. But he also likes the fact that Segura can fly, and anything down a line or in a gap, and Segura has a chance to score. That bunt by Segura.
You see the way the bat gives as the ball hits it. That's how you deaden a baseball. You give with it a little bit, and Segura drops it down the third baseline nicely.
Checked it up on the green like a good sandwich. Braun bounced out his first time up. He rolled one over to first base in Mauer. No score. Playing the bottom of the 4th inning. Brewers with their leadoff runner aboard. Close play at first. Segura was leaning a little bit and just did get back.
Ooh, yeah, that's about as close as it gets.
Now you can challenge that. You can go to a challenge, but Gardenhire's pitcher Gibson was already on the rubber quickly, ready to fire the next pitch. Too late. Now Braun's starting to put his name in the Powerball home run leaderboard. Figured he would eventually. It was a bit of a home run drought for Ryan, but now has 9, has 2 on this homestand, tied with Davis. Mark Reynolds is the club leader with 12, 4th in the National League in that category.
Really trying to work him on the inside part of the plate with a fastball. Missing. That's why it's so difficult to pitch inside to guys like Braun. You get it where you want it, and you can get him out. But you miss inside, you get behind in the count like he is now. You miss out over the plate, he's going to rattle one off the wall.
Yeah, missing inside to Braun usually spells trouble for a pitcher. Braun in the driver's seat here. 2 balls and a strike. And he came right back in there and tied him up. Good pitch. 2-2 the count on Braun.
Two-seam fastball working well for Gibson so far tonight. Going down and in and ended up off the inside corner.
Segura still at first. Gibson paying a lot of attention to him, and Braun taps it in front of the mound, and the throw to first is in time. So it works like a bunt. It does advance a runner, but Braun is retired, and the Brewers for the first time have a runner in scoring position tonight.
Braun way out in front. It looked like a breaking pitch that time, and right off the end of the bat, beats it off the home plate area, and Gibson able to go get it and get the out at first base, but Ryan Braun able to get Segura in the scoring position.
And that'll set him up for Lucroy. Gibson made his big league debut last year at the end of June of last season, and his first chance to be a major league starter full time this year. Coming off a Tommy John surgery just a few years back. Gibson had a good year in AAA last year, 7-5 with a 2.92 ERA. He did spend a couple of months in the big leagues with the Twins. He made 10 starts for them last season. End of June through mid-August, he was in the big leagues. He's been terrific at home. He has been awful on the road. The largest discrepancy of home and road ERA in the major leagues. Lucroy back up the middle. Segura got a great jump. He'll score easily. And Jonathan Lucroy drives one in, takes second on a bad throw from center. That is a huge mistake by the Twins. The Brewers are on the board 1-0.
Well, he's not an outfielder by trade. He's a shortstop. The Twins moved into center field because they want to keep his bat in the lineup, but it's about as bad a decision as you're going to see. No way he gets Segura. You just throw it into second base and keep Lucroy at first. That throw not even close. Learning on the job, and it cost the Twins a base.
Santana is the shortstop of the future for the Twins. But Gardenhire wanting him in the big leagues. Aaron Hicks has struggled a little bit lately, and they're taking a big risk out there.
You get a young player. He's out of position. You got Joe Mauer out of position, but still the Twins are decent defensively, fourth in the American League. I mean, as far as errors go, but not an error on that play, but certainly a play that shouldn't have been made. Bad defense that doesn't show up in the box score.
A kid doing the best he can out in center field. Gomez ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Big swing. Gomez entertaining even when he misses.
Went with a breaking pitch on 2-0. Carlos swinging fastball right here. Big hack, bat way out in front. But he stayed on his feet.
Gibson deals a 2-1 and a chopper back up the middle. That's going to sneak through a base hit. Here comes Lucroy, and he will score. And the miscue in center field pays off for the Brew Crew. Gomez with an RBI. It's 2-0.
Yeah, that might have been a double play had Lucroy been at first base. The shortstop might have been playing a little bit different. There's a slider. Gomez able to wait back this time. Not a bad pitch. You see, he bounces it over the mound, and had Lucroy been at first without the bad throw in center field, that might have been a double play. Instead, it's an RBI single for Carlos Gomez.
Gomez, the club leader in RBIs, now with 32 on the season. He's 1 for 2, and second time through the batting order against Kyle Gibson. The Brewers are now 3 for 4. Here's Chris Davis with 1 out.
Man, looked pretty comfortable out of the windup. Now you put him in a stretch thanks to the Gene Segura base hit bunt. Yeah, things are a little bit different for Gibson now.
Fastball in there for a strike. Now we hit the air tonight talking about the Twins on the Brewers Live pregame show. And, you know, the Twins are just a team that seems like they're searching a little bit. Gardenhire trying to find the right pieces at the big league level. They have a great minor league system. They're building quite the empires. Davis goes down the right field line. That ball's deep. It's staying just off the wall in foul territory. Arcia made a great run at it.
That ball carried well for Davis. He had that one down off the end of the bat, but still able to almost knock it out of here right down the right field line.
High off the sidewall, foul territory, just out of the reach of Arcia.
Yeah, came close. Good effort.
Buys Chris Davis. Another pitch. No balls and 2 strikes, though. Gomez always a threat to run at first. They check on him. Carlos has always had a great success rate stealing bases, even during his days with the Twins. He's 11 out of 13 this year. Only been caught twice. His home runs matches his stolen bases this season. Davis rolls over one. Over to second for one. Dozier the turn, and it's just in time. Dozier was wiped out by Gomez. Nicely turned double play by the Twins, but the Brewers score twice. Inning started with a bunt single by Segura. Braun got him over on a swinging bunt, and then back-to-back RBI singles. Lucroy and Gomez, and the Brew Crew up 2-0.
Is presented by Marshfield Clinic. The Brewers take a 2-0 lead as we head to the 5th, and today in our Crew in the Community, the Milwaukee Brewers Community Involvement Initiative, known as the Community Achievers Award, will recognize residents throughout the state of Wisconsin each month during the season for displaying extraordinary efforts in their community. All adults and school-aged children throughout the state of Wisconsin are eligible to participate in the Community Achievers Program, so you can make your nominations at brewers.com/community.
Now here we go to the 5th inning. 2-0 Brewers on top. A 2-run bottom of the 4th. RBIs from Lucroy and Gomez, and now Garza pitching with the lead. He's given up 3 hits. Has 5 strikeouts thus far through the first 4 innings. 5 Ks, 1 walk for Garza. Bottom of the order coming up. Eduardo Escobar leads off, switch hitting shortstop. Got another switch hitter due up next in Santana. Escobar bounced into a 3-6-3 double play his last time up. On 2 hops, Segura hustles one over to first base. Got jammed on that pitch by Garza, that breaking ball.
Yeah, right on the knuckles that time, and had some funny spin on it. And Segura two-hands it, and look at the throw, the throwing arm. Remember that issue he had at the end of spring training with his shoulder? I think everybody worried that his shoulder was going to be giving him some problems, but really no signs of that at all this year. Always has good balance. Always is able to get those legs in position to get off a good throw.
I love the way he, and like most big league shortstops, as Santana swings and misses, plays that ground ball in the heel of his glove. Never in the webbing when you're trying to make a quick release.
Easier to see the entire baseball or get the feel for it, get the seams on it.
Sophia spent some time in the Dominican Republic this offseason. It was fascinating how Segura was talking about playing barehanded growing up, and that's why he has those soft hands and uses the glove only to act as a stopper. Of course, if there's a line drive, he'll use the webbing. But when he's around the bag or needing a quick exchange, he won't even close his glove.
Especially when they're turning double plays. You watch Jeanette, you watch Segura. Ricky does it too. Heel of the glove, get the whole ball. You don't have to worry about double clutching. Sometimes when you catch that ball in the webbing, you take it out, you kind of lose it a little bit.
Pop up into shallow right center. Jeanette's back there, but Gomez will call him off. And 2 up and 2 down for Matt Garza. Say it's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. The pitcher, Kyle Gibson, at the plate. Just the 4th at-bat of his life as a professional. Hadn't hit since high school before their recent road trip to San Francisco. 0 for 3 lifetime. And a little flare. Jeanette can't get it. And a major league first for Kyle Gibson.
Well, just like yesterday, the Cubs reliever Brian Schlitter with a base hit. Had never had a base hit in the pros before. Right off the end of the bat, Scooter tried to time his leap, just couldn't get it. And Gibson with a base hit.
A little flare just out of the reach of Jeanette. Oh, and now Gibson is aboard, and you have a leadoff hitter in the Twins in Brian Dozier coming up, who has some power. Has 11 home runs this season. And he lines one to center field. Gomez coming on, able to knock it down. Fortunate throw coming into second base. Dozier is in there. Boy, the Brewers very fortunate that ball didn't end up at the wall. Gomez was a little indecisive. It's going to be second and third with 2 outs on the base hit by Dozier.
Probably give him a double. Gomez playing deep, playing no doubles, but ends up giving Dozier second base. He tried to make the shoestring play, couldn't do it. Good thing the pitcher was running, or that might have been a run. This might be a opportunity to pitch around Joe Mauer right here. You got Plouffe on deck. Of course, Plouffe the number 3 hitter, but certainly no Joe Mauer.
See what Garza does. Second and third, 2 outs. Quick little 2-out rally here by the Twins. On the little flare by their pitcher, Gibson, to get it started. Garza in there with a strike.
Yeah, 2 pitches. All of a sudden, it's second and third, 2 outs.
Mauer is 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. And he was late on that fastball.
So Mauer hit a double on a fastball away. He hit a double on a changeup. Maybe try to crowd him with a fastball. See what he can do with that.
A .328 lifetime hitter with runners in scoring position, but
not this year.
Hitting in the 170s.
Yeah.
This year with runners in scoring position. Garza's got him down 0-2. And down he goes. Mauer strikes out. Garza goes right after him. Punches him out on 3 pitches. His 6th strikeout. The Twins strand 2. The slider got him. Still 2-0. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, Brewers are coming up as promised earlier. We have the AT&T fan photo of the game, and it is from Nate, and a picture in front of the Brewers apple, not the Big Apple. Brewers are headed there on the next road trip. Don't forget, use that hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in our broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. Thanks, Nate. 2-0 Crew as Garza strikes out Joe Mauer with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Answering the question, would he be going around him or not? Struck him out on 3 pitches.
Yeah, didn't mess around, did he? But he did go in on him. Went in on him twice. He threw a high breaking ball down the middle, top of the strike zone, then fastball in, slider down and in, and got him.
Scooter Gennett leads off. Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes on Scooter.
That's been the issue for Joe Mauer all season long. Nobody on, a couple of doubles, and in position of driving a couple of runs, he strikes out. Runners in scoring position have been a trouble spot for the Twins and Joe Mauer all season.
In the middle of an 8-year deal, Joe Mauer, that expires in 2018. Gennett into right center, a base hit. Outfield was deep, and Gennett on his way to 2nd. A leadoff double. Gennett stays hot. Scooter Gennett now 5 for his last 8 at the plate. Double number 12 of the year.
Goes down and gets the changeup. He doesn't throw many, but Scooter waiting for it. And keeps that bat in the hitting zone and able to line it out of the reach of Dozier at 2nd base. Oh, he's been outstanding this year. I mean, that approach, the top down approach, out in front just a little bit, but keeps the bat level. Let's go with that one hand to make sure he keeps that bat in the hitting zone so it doesn't loop out, and lines it into the gap.
Here's Mark Reynolds now, and he swings and drives one to right. Backing up is Arcia. Out of Rome. Mark Reynolds. 2-run shot. 4-0 Brewers. number 13 for Mark Reynolds.
Well, that's what Mark Reynolds gives you. He can go into stretches where he's not getting hits. He will strike out, but he'll give you this too. Breaks out of it on a fastball outer half. Nice easy swing, and look at the power he generates. That ball over the ATI zone and way out of here to right field. 4-0 Brewers. Brewers are now 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position. It's got to feel good for Mark.
Well, Reynolds now tied for 3rd in the National League in home runs. That home run ties him with Justin Upton of the Braves as Overbay fouls it back. And look at that swing courtesy of Phantom Cam as Reynolds drives one to the opposite field right on the barrel.
Yep, head down. Look at the eyes. Right on point of contact and nice follow through and an oppo shot to right.
And Overbay into left. Willingham is back, and he's got it for the out. Overbay hit it sharply. First out of the inning.
They experienced Brewers baseball like a VIP in one of Miller Park's 5 spectacular all-inclusive areas. Enjoy the game in style with exclusive amenities, a full buffet, and complimentary beverages. Tickets start at just $48. Call 414-902-4777 or visit brewers.com/all-in.
Here's Matt Garza with one away. So the second time through this batting order for the Brewers after Kyle Gibson retired the first 9 first time through. Here's Garza. Mauer's got that in fair territory and the second out. So the second trip through, the Brewers with 5 hits, 5 for 8 was a double play ball in there. Mark Reynolds with a home run, and Rock, we're looking at the numbers here with Reynolds. His best home run year was in 2009. He had 44 for the Diamondbacks. He is on a better ratio now than he was back then. So in 09 he homered about every 14 at bats, a little over, and so far this year he's homering every 13.7 at bats.
His playing time might go down just a little bit with the return of Aramis Ramirez. He's going to be playing a lot of first base, of course, but certainly not every day. But I get your point.
Will pop up to second, and that will retire the side. Got some home run frequency going is all I'm saying. And Mark Reynolds, a 2-run shot, the club leader in homers, gives the Brewers a 4-0 lead. boat, partner? It's right out there somewhere, isn't it? Is that
McKinley,
it?
I can't tell you exactly where it is because,
Okay.
you might take it out, sink it somewhere. Beautiful out there.
Looks good there. Looks great here at Miller Park.
I was out there the other day. Gorgeous. Last Thursday.
We're all ready. Big crew fishing trip with Rock.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. Thanks for the invite.
Won't be much of a turnout. You can only fit a few on there, but
we'll go in cycles.
First come, first serve.
Take a number.
Do you fish?
Oh, absolutely. I told you, I grew up in the country. I'm like Carlos Gomez, though. I fish with my hands. Just kind of get in there and, I keep myself to about a 10 catch maximum when I fish with my hands.
You think you're fooling anybody? Come on, don't embarrass yourself now.
You just got to be quick, man. Got to be quick. Matt Garza staked to a 4-0 lead as we head to the 6th inning. Got Trevor Plouffe to start this inning. 6 strikeouts for Garza. And he starts Plouffe with an off-speed pitch. Ball and a strike.
It's a good location so far in the first 5 innings of the game tonight. Breaking ball's been good. Man, what a job against Joe Mauer. What a spot he was in, and able to get him out on 3 pitches.
Yeah, I was with you thinking, opportunity to maybe walk him. Base open at first, but Garza goes right after him with a slider, and down he goes.
The margin for error on that pitch very small when you're facing a guy like Mauer. When you leave that up a little bit, and he's going to rattle that one off the wall somewhere or worse.
Southwest Airlines non-stoppable play. That was a big one. And then the Brewers come right back and add 2 more to the lead.
A momentum swing right there. Instead of a tie game, the Brewers now have a 4-0 lead.
Garza's pitch count at 78. Spins Plouffe out of there. He's clubbed with 5 hits thus far. But the Brewers with 4 on the board. And Garza picks up another strikeout. Number 7 for Matt Garza.
And the slider's working now. Got Mauer on it. Now Plouffe. A perfectly located 3-2 slider. Plouffe's sitting on a fastball and swings at one out of the strike zone. Twins don't seem to be as patient as we had anticipated tonight. A couple of guys.
And you give credit to Garza for being around the plate. He's been on the attack. He has 80 pitches, 59 strikes among those 80 pitches. Arcia has been a free swinger tonight. Garza's been able to get him to swing and miss at a high fastball in both at bats. Arcia's 0 for 2. He struck out his last time up. Garza drops one in on the outside corner. 1-1. First of 4 against the Twins. 2 here at Miller Park, and then 2 in Minnesota at Target Field. Wednesday and Thursday in Minneapolis. The Brewers will start a road trip in Minneapolis and then go to Pittsburgh for a weekend series, and then to New York
3 games against the Mets.
And Brewers have a tough travel schedule coming up on this next road trip. Night game tomorrow, fly to Minnesota, and then getaway day against the Twins is a night game, flying to Pittsburgh. Then the last game of the road trip, a night game in New York, and then fly back to Milwaukee.
They got to take advantage of these final 2 home games. The Brewers having a nice homestand. They are 4-2 with 2 to play. But they'll be tested. They'll look up on June 23rd. When the Brewers return home after that long stretch of games on the road. That'll give you a good idea if this team is going to be a contender this year, I think. They're in it right now. They're in first place. Milwaukee is 4 games up on the Cardinals to start play today. Up 4 on St. Louis, up 7 on the Reds and the Pirates.
Yeah, third best record in all baseball. The Giants with 37 wins. The Oakland A's now with 35 wins. And the Brewers and Blue Jays tied with 34.
Felt like the Brewers weathered the storm, a little bit of injuries in the month of May. Terrific pitching in the month of May. Brewers had a great first month of the season, won 20 games in April. Interleague's been good to the Brewers this year. In a year when you had to deal with the American League East primarily, in addition to the 4 games against the Twins, the Brewers are now 7-2 in interleague play. Swept the Red Sox, won the series over the Orioles and the Yankees. The Brewers have not had a winning record in interleague play since 2010. Still have the Blue Jays and the Rays to go outside of these next 4 games against the Twins.
Yeah, both of those on the road.
Full count. And a swing and a miss. Sounded like he got a piece of it right into the middle of Lucroy, and a strikeout for Garza. Back-to-back Ks, 3 in a row, going back to the 5th, and he now has 8 punch-outs.
And another pitch, it might have been off the corner, and it might have been ball 4. Pretty close, though. Arcia couldn't take the chance. That was right on the corner, and another 3-2 strikeout for Matt Garza.
Our Carsoup.com trivia question. We're looking for the Brewers players currently. Played for the Twins, Lohse, Garza, and Gomez.
Although Brandon Kinsel did play in the Twin Cities.
Yes, he did. He played for St. Paul. He was the
St. Paul Saints. Yeah.
St. Paul Saints in the Northern League. From independent ball. Kyle's pretty excited about things. He deserves a day of rest after his complete game shutout yesterday. Josh Willingham singled his first time up. He's walked as well. He's has not been retired. Strike. Inside corner. Starting to get that call now.
Yeah, trying to really work him inside. Why wouldn't you? A big, strong right-handed batter likes to get his arms extended. You be careful with the breaking pitch that hangs up in the middle of the plate. Willingham still barking at the home plate umpire.
Here's a 1-2 off the plate. 2-2. Garza going back to the fastball.
Willingham does like to walk. He's got that on base percentage over 450. I mean, that's Joey Votto type numbers right there.
Well, he's only played in 13 games prior to tonight. That hand injury.
That's still pretty good.
455 on base. He's slugging .537. And that one misses. And Willingham is aboard. I'll tell you what.
He likes to walk, doesn't he?
That is a close pitch
again
to take and leave it in the hands of the home plate umpire, and that's got Rick Kranitz fired up.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, that's the 2 times now that Willingham has walked on pitches that Fox Tracks has in the strike zone. A power hitter that goes up there looking to walk. He jackknifes out of the way. You can see where it has on Fox Tracks, right on the corner. Looking away, and home plate umpire once again says, nope, it's a ball inside.
Well, here's Suzuki, and there's a strike. Kurt Suzuki is 0 for 2. He struck out looking with 2 on in the 4th inning on a pitch that did look like a ball.
And when you're looking on the outer half of the plate, and it appears Willingham is doing, you come anywhere close to the inside corner, it looks like it's going to hit you. You jackknife out of the way, and he's fooled McClinsky twice.
And Suzuki, after he struck out looking in the 4th, may or may not have said, I want that Willingham strike zone next time.
Yeah, we all would like that strike zone.
Garza's got a new baseball. 4-0 Brewers. We play in the 6th inning. Game that started an hour earlier than we normally start, or 50 minutes anyway. If you're just picking us up, wondering why we're already in the 6th inning. Back to a 7-10 first pitch tomorrow to wrap up the homestand.
Now, yesterday's game was about at this point in the first hour, the way Lohse was going about it.
A thing of beauty from Lohse.
2 hours and 18 minutes, a 9-0 win.
A ball and 2 strikes. Garza looking for another K. It would be his 9th. And Suzuki doesn't bite. Good block back there by Lucroy. 2-2 now on Suzuki.
And Brewers catchers have done a fabulous job keeping runners at first base right there and not allowing them to get to second on wild pitches. Brewers have allowed the 3rd fewest wild pitches this year, and that speaks to the success of both of their catchers.
Martin Maldonado, the backup. Certainly don't have a 3rd fewer pitches in the dirt compared to everyone else. Ball 3 inside. And now Willingham will get a head start at first.
Every hitter in this inning has had a full count. 99 pitches for Matt Garza.
Full count, 2 outs. Willingham goes, and that one's in the air to left. Davis with room, and the side is retired. 100 pitches for Garza. 6 shutout innings in the books.
On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. Turned out to be a picture-perfect night in Milwaukee tonight, huh? Roof is open. Clear skies up above after a ton of rain over the last couple of days, late yesterday and early today.
Good for the gardens. You got your garden in?
All in.
Vegetable garden all set?
Yep. That's how we did it. Back in the country.
Do you fertilize it or just leave it alone?
You know.
Organic?
Got a few cows. Organic fertilizer. Ryan Braun leads off. Takes a ball down and in. You can come over and do some cow tipping if you want. They love that.
I got some organic fertilizer. I got a dog.
Oh, yeah. Your dog. Now the Brewers up 4-0. Matt Garza with 8 strikeouts. Bullpen is quiet right now, so Garza looks like he'll be headed back out. He's got a shutout going. Pitch count at 100. 7th innings have been a problem for Garza over his last couple of starts. But when you sign a guy to a 4-year deal and the kind of money that Garza signed for, you don't start taking the ball from him in the middle of a shutout because of a 100 pitch count. You'll give him another inning.
Yeah. I don't see him being able to finish. There's a nice play.
Mauer dives and takes care of Braun. Well done, Joe Mauer. Or should I say, well played, Mauer.
Nice.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
You're good. You're on the top of your game tonight. That's outstanding. Yeah, good range, a dive, and a nice flip over to Gibson for the out.
Ryan Braun's 0 for 3. Now to bring up Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy drove in a run in the 4th inning. Drove in the first run of the game for the Brewers after Segura had bunted his way on with a bunt single. Lucroy drove him in. Jonathan now with 23 RBIs. Brewers had back-to-back RBI singles that inning from Lucroy and Gomez. He's turning into that kind of player, isn't he? You want to get a photo of him looking more and more like an all-star this year, Lucroy. Tough to break through in the National League behind the plate on the all-star team. Yadier Molina, Buster Posey, Russell Martin of the Pirates, another outstanding catcher. The heavy hitting catcher in Colorado, Willeen Rosario, the Baby Bull.
Yeah, but he takes a back seat to none of them. I mean, the way he's been playing, I mean, both at the plate and defensively. Calling a great game. One of the reasons why this pitching staff has been so good. Jonathan Lucroy, Martin Maldonado calling the signals. Working them through games.
Yeah, the pitching staff's been terrific. Got to give a lot of credit to the catchers. Back up the middle, hit the shin of Gibson, and Lucroy will reach. So Lucroy with his second hit.
And both hits coming back through the middle. Hey, at Miller Park, Friday the 13th is your lucky day. All fans in attendance to see the Brewers take on the Reds. On Friday, June 13th, we'll get a Brewers retro t-shirt courtesy of Husco International. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com today.
Meeting at the mound, checking on Kyle Gibson, Ron Gardenhire. And looks like he's all right. Sounded like it caught him pretty flush But he shooed away the athletic training staff.
Man, his pitch count's only at 73 right now.
Now the Brewers have a base runner with one away. Gibson wants to throw one. It's a little unusual.
He just took it upon himself to throw one.
Usually you do that when the trainer is out there with you. I need a warm-up pitch.
He just said, I'm throwing one. Leg out.
Mike McClinsky said, okay, go ahead. Let me get out of here.
Now, could Lucroy have stolen a base there?
Or just maybe he could have rehearsed a stolen base. Gomez with an RBI single in the fourth. And a seeing eye ground ball that made it back up the middle. Club leader in ribbies, Carlos Gomez, and spent a good chunk of the year in the leadoff spot. He's been in the cleanup position since the 22nd of May. Had a 10-game hitting streak. That was just ended a couple of days ago, most while hitting cleanup. This is his 10th game batting cleanup in this stretch. And did that hit him, or is that a foul ball? Foul ball, says the home plate umpire.
Hey, Gibson has really been trying to establish inside. This time, that hit Gomez? Did it hit the bat?
It hit the bat.
Yeah, okay.
Just past his elbow. Two balls and a strike. Carlos Gomez hitting like a cleanup hitter in this role, driving in a ton of runs. There's a shot to short, could be two. It goes 6-4-3, and the inning is over. 6 in the books. This border battle. Brewers lead 4-0.
Presented by Marshfield Clinic. Garza goes back to work, looking to follow up his start against Baltimore when he went 6 2/3, had 9 strikeouts in that outing, gave up 6 runs there. And Ron Renicky saying before today's game he's looking for that similar kind of stuff in today's outing. He said he had a great fastball in that start against Baltimore. Said he was going to need that breaking stuff, be able to mix it up against this Twins lineup, which Rick Kranitz also said, strike one was going to be huge for Garza, just like it was for Kyle Lohse yesterday. It's a lineup that doesn't chase, doesn't strike out a lot, and so far that approach has paid off for Garza.
Thanks, Sophia. It's just a strange start his last time out, right? He did have the 9 Ks, but he gave up 6 runs. Only 3 were earned. Brewers had some trouble defensively behind him, and Rockies entering the 7th inning, and that's been his nemesis inning over his last few starts. Had a little bit of a meltdown in Atlanta on the 22nd of May, and then could not get through the 7th against the Orioles.
Yeah, and early in the season was the first inning that was giving him the problems, but as of late, as he got through the game, pitch count started to climb for him. The 7th inning has been the issue. 7th inning is always that tricky inning for every team. I mean, your starter's starting to tire. Pitch counts are getting up, and then you have to get into your bullpen before you get your setup man and closer. So 7th inning, always an important inning late in the game.
Garza 1 off that season high for strikeouts. His career best for Ks in a game is 12. He did that against the Pittsburgh Pirates 2 years ago as a member of the Cubs.
And one thing you feel real good about right now is the fact that Will Smith has had a ton of time off. He last pitched on Wednesday. Will Smith, as we speak, up in the bullpen getting ready. Any sign of trouble for Garza, he's going to be in the game.
Well, Garza has the bottom of the order here. Escobar, Danny Santana, and then the pitcher spot due up. Unlikely Gardenhire, even though Gibson's pitch count is low, unlikely we'd see him hit in this spot. There's a swing and a foul back. Minnesota does have activity in their bullpen. That is Anthony Swarzak. Escobar tonight has hit 2 on the ground, a double play ball in the 2nd, then he grounded to short his last time up. That one's in the air, fairly deep. Gomez got a good jump and hauls it in for the first out. And that'll bring up Danny Santana, the speedy center fielder, shortstop by trade. Minnesota has one of the great center field prospects in the game, Byron Buxton. He's down in A ball right now, so they're hoping that Buxton is the center fielder in Minnesota for a long time, probably still a year or 2 away.
That's a long time, though, to have Santana out in center field. I mean, if you plan on using him as your shortstop for the future, I mean, not sure how you can develop him the proper way, putting him in the outfield. I don't know if that's a long-term solution. Unless you just keep him in the outfield.
Well, Gardenhire wants him in the big leagues, and the Twins needing some electrifying players. He's a fast player, has a great arm as well, and a good enough athlete. They feel like he'll be able to make the adjustment at the big league level. He's only been playing center field this year. I think most of it has to do with Aaron Hicks, who is really struggling right now for the Twins. Matter of fact, he is no longer switch hitting for Minnesota. Just a right-handed batter these days. Twins are going to be getting Sam Fold back soon, coming back from concussion. Imagine being a switch hitter and then becoming an exclusive right-handed batter, having never seen breaking balls from that side of the plate from right-handed pitchers. You know, breaking balls that go away from you now, and you're trying to do that and adjust to that at the major league level. Forget it.
Tough.
Shane Victorino did it last year, and he did it well for the Boston Red Sox. But Victorino has a pedigree. He's been around a long time.
Yeah, unlike Hicks. I couldn't imagine he was switch hitting. I mean, it's tough enough to figure out what you're doing at one side of the plate, let alone 2 sides of the plate.
Here's the 3-2, and a foul out of play. Count stays full.
Most switch hitters, I mean, some switch hitters, I should say, use a different style bat, different weight bat from one side to the next. Not the same type of hitter most times. Some guys are better with the batting average from one side of the plate, have more power from the other. And that makes sense.
Another payoff pitch. And a line drive. Base hit just past Reynolds. Danny Santana is aboard.
Yeah, just a flick of the wrist. So the full count pitch. Garza's had a ton of them so far tonight. Every batter in the 6th inning had a full count. Santana lines his 3-2 pitch into left field. Pitch count getting into the danger zone for Matt Garza.
Yeah, especially this time of the year. You got a lot of baseball to be played. Setting at 111 pitches. Gardenhire's going to go to his bench here with the pitcher spot coming up. And Chris Parmelee is announced. And that's going to draw Ron Renicky out of the dugout. So Garza pitches well tonight. Can't get through 7, but has 6 1/3 shutout. And he'll leave to a nice ovation. Got a chance to win. A reminder, America's new sports network is the place to turn before every slam, every goal, and every game with America's pregame on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tune in to America's pregame weekdays at 5 Central, and it's only on FS1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your cable or satellite provider, go to foxsports1.com. It'll be Will Smith out of the Brewers bullpen entering the 7th inning with 1 out.
He's had a nice layoff. Last pitched on Wednesday against the Orioles. Stranded 2 inherited base runners, and he's only allowed 3 of 17 inherited base runners to score so far this year. Just about every one of the Brewers out of that bullpen have done a very good job in that spot. Has made 13 consecutive appearances without allowing an earned run.
Those are great numbers from Smith. Remember, 2 of those runs that came in, of the 3 he's allowed, that game when he didn't throw any pitches in the bullpen, that game in Atlanta, the bullpen mix-up. Can't hardly put that one on him either. All right, so Parmelee was announced as the pinch hitter. Gardenhire pulls him back, and it'll be Nunez now. Eduardo Nunez will be the pinch hitter for the Twins. 4-0 Milwaukee. Got a runner at first. And Smith, first pitch breaking ball upstairs. Right now, Garza 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. And got a chance to win for the first time since May 5th.
Yeah, the breaking ball, the fastball have been very good. The curveball and the slider. He's got 2 different off-speed pitches. Then he'll bust it up there at about 94, 95 once in a while. Not always. Only when he needs it. And throwing a lot of strikes. It's got to feel like an eternity for Will Smith having this many days off. Hasn't had that luxury too often this year.
Well, what a valuable piece to the puzzle so far this season. Traded this offseason from the Royals. He was in that Nori Aoki deal, sending the popular leadoff hitter to Kansas City. Every time I see Smith on the mound, I think about that conversation we had at the Brewers on Deck event. Remember, he was involved in the game show, and you guys were backstage. It was the game. You know, it was I forgot the name of the game we played, but wasn't it
Jim Gantner?
It was Jim Gantner, wasn't he? There's a bouncing ball to third. Chance for 2 here. It goes 5, 4, 3, and a double play. To be continued as Will Smith ends the inning. The Brewers go around the horn. And still 4-0. Stay tuned for the 7th inning stretch now. Brought to you by the all-new Chevy Silverado.
Brought to you by Fisher Nuts, the official nut of your Milwaukee Brewers. For a fresh twist on snacking, think Fisher.
For our game summary, Brewers get 2 runs in the 4th inning. Lucroy and Gomez with back-to-back RBI singles. Brewers got a 2-run homer from Mark Reynolds the next inning. And with a 4-0 lead, Matt Garza on top of his game, pitching against the team that drafted him and brought him to the big leagues. Garza with 6 1/3 of shutout baseball, striking out 8, including a big K of Joe Mauer with runners at 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, that might be the turning point in the ball game right now as we look at it at this point. All zeros for the Twins. Brewers pitching's been pretty good last couple of days, wouldn't you say?
Kyle Lohse going the distance, shutting out the Cubs yesterday. And Will Smith, Rock, just keeps getting it done. He has been impressive. Comes in, gets a double play ball, and that's that for the Twins in the 7th. Here's Chris Davis to start it for the Crew. New pitcher is Anthony Swarzak, coming in for Kyle Gibson, who was pinch hit for.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. He led all major league relievers last year in innings, 96 innings, all out of the bullpen, and has been very good since the All-Star break last year. Reminds you a little bit of the success at the All-Star break last year of Willie Peralta. Swarzak's earned run average since the All-Star break a year ago, 195. This guy's already tossed 4 innings out of the bullpen this year in a game. That was back on May 10th.
Davis lines one left center. Thinking extra bases, and he'll hold up at first. Tough to get one in the gaps against the Twins. They play extremely deep in their outfield. First hit of the night for Chris Davis.
Yeah, willing not a lot of range, but you have a lot of range with Santana out there. And you mentioned you play deep and you're fast. Cover a lot of ground quickly. And Davis just on everything these days. He barrels that one up, out over the plate, and line drive into the gap in left center.
Now the Brewers have 7 hits. 4 runs on 7 hits. Here's Scooter Gennett, who doubled and scored his last time up. He was on base when Reynolds went deep. Gennett's on a good run at the plate right now. 5 hits his last 8 tries. Pops this one up. And Plouffe will give way to Escobar in fair territory. Gennett retired for the first out. And here's Mark Reynolds. Well, Mark Reynolds at the plate, presented by Wendy's. 2-run home run in the 5th. Opposite field home run. And now 3rd in the league in that category, Mark Reynolds. Home run number 13 for Mark, now with 27 runs batted in. He's 3rd on the club in RBIs. Not bad for a guy who was hired to be a bench player and a platoon player over at first. Reynolds, we've seen him pull some tape measure shots this year, but this one drives the ball into the bleachers to right field.
This has incredible power. Didn't even get all that pitch, and able to knock it out of here by plenty into right. Well, good decision for Reynolds to join the Brewers as opposed to some of these other teams. A non-roster invite, and look what he's been able to do. I think he's happy with the decision. I know the Brewers are.
Now, he had a few choices, Reynolds did. A lot of teams in a similar situation. But there he is, tied for 3rd in the league, a guy who has hit 40 home runs in the big leagues. Reynolds saw the best opportunity to play in Milwaukee, knowing that he'd at least be involved in a platoon at first. And when Aramis Ramirez comes back, you'll probably see that platoon continue, although the way Reynolds has swung the bat, it will be an interesting decision for Ron Roenicke.
Well, you know, Ramirez isn't going to be able to play every single day when he first comes back. I mean, he will play 3rd base, I would imagine, you know, through the Minnesota series. Ramirez will probably be the designated hitter. Then Roenicke will ease him in to 3rd base. Play him 2 days, give him a day off. Take a while for him to be back in there every day. If only every manager had such problems.
Right. Well, Roenicke's done a great job this year managing around what has been a beat up lineup with Ramirez on the DL. Ryan Braun dealing with an oblique injury. Spent some time on the DL as well, as Reynolds pulls that one foul. But the one constant for the Brewers has been the pitching.
And that's what it takes. You know, good pitching. The defense has been very good all year. Combination of those two things, they'll keep you around, keep you close.
Well, we saw Lohse dominate yesterday. Garza pitch well tonight. It'll be Gallardo tomorrow. 3-2, and Reynolds takes ball 4. First walk of the game issued by Twins pitching. 1st and 2nd with 1 out. The Brewers trying to add to their lead with Overbay coming up. Overbay was at the plate in a similar spot yesterday, much earlier in the game, but a chance to deal a knockout punch. He delivered with a 3 RBI double, and the Brewers never looked back. He'd love to do the same here. Ricky Weeks will hit next. He'll pinch hit for Will Smith. Overbay to right. Coming in is Arcia. Out number 2. Tough break for Lyle Overbay. Gives you an idea how deep Gardenhire plays his outfielders.
Had to come in on that.
Had to sprint in on that line drive.
Well, he's always done that against the Brewers. He's taken away the slugging percentage of the Brewers. He was actually the first manager to do that. He did that a number of years ago. Thinking that the Brewers are a power hitting ball club. Play him deep, make him get 3 singles to score.
So Ricky Weeks announced as the pinch hitter. That'll end the night of Will Smith. A little bit of a role reversal coming in the 7th inning. But squashing a potential rally with a double play ball. Smith 2/3 of an inning. Chopper to third, coming in, Plouffe, and he bobbles it right through him. Everybody safe. That'll be an E5, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
And top of the order coming up. I mentioned that the Twins are a pretty good defensive ball club when it comes to making the plays that they can get to as far as errors go, but this is one that certainly should have been made. He had played it on the in-between hop right under the glove, and Ricky's safe at first base.
That's going to give Segura a swing here with the bases loaded. The Brewers leadoff hitter, who started it all with a bunt single in the 4th. First hit of the game for Milwaukee. Davis started it with a single in the 7th inning. Mark Reynolds walked. Weeks reaching on the error. And Segura takes a strike. Segura a chance to put this one away in the 7th. And a bouncer to third. Plouffe got a long throw. It's high. Safe. Run scores. Segura flying down the line. Maurer couldn't get the tag. On a bad throw from Trevor Plouffe. That'll be another error, and the Brewers lead 5-0.
He could have gone to third base. I'm not sure why he didn't do it. Check him out. Look how close he is to the bag right there. And there's no way that Reynolds would have been able to beat him to third base. That would have been the short play right here. Check it out. They just go to the bag, tag the bag. Why make the throw? He throws high, and the Brewers get a run.
That is a gift run. And Plouffe, normally a good defender, not a great third baseman, but he's certainly above average. Had 4 errors coming into this game. He's made 2 on back-to-back hitters. And that'll give Braun a chance now. 5-0 Brewers on 7 hits. Bases loaded for Ryan Braun. And Braun, a liner right to Dozier to end the inning. Brewers get a run. Plouffe kicks it twice. 5-0 Crew as we go to the 8th.
2 errors by Minnesota third baseman Trevor Plouffe. And it's 5-0. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. It'll be Sam DiDuno tomorrow for the Twins. Yovani Gallardo for the Brewers. Coming off a win his last time out against Baltimore. Gallardo's first win since his second start of the year. He went 6 2/3. Allowed 3 earned runs. Had 5 strikeouts in that game against the Orioles. And that secured the series win for the Brewers. Milwaukee won the last 2 games, and Gallardo had a big hand in both. Remember, the day before he had the pinch hit game-winning RBI double in extra innings. So Gallardo, his arm and his bat, back up tomorrow for the Brew Crew. Good numbers against Minnesota throughout his career. Here's Brandon Kinsler now with the Brewers up 5-0. Kinsler will get the top of this Minnesota batting order.
It's been since Wednesday for Brandon as well. We mentioned that, because of the lopsided scores over the weekend against the Cubs, not many of the Brewers relievers had to get much work in. So Brandon Kinsler pitched on Wednesday, has posted a 135 earned run average over his last 9 appearances, starting to get things together after a rough time when he first came off the disabled list.
Ryan Dozier not pleased with that call from Mike McClinsky. Dozier doubled his last time up. He's 1 out of 3. Dozier's been performing at an all-star level this year. One of the premier slugging second basemen in the American League.
That's a good pitch from Brandon. He's got some tilt on it. Got a little action coming in on these hitters. And boy, these Twins do not like anything even close to the inner half of the plate.
Kinsler with that power sinker. Works off the first base side of the rubber. And the 1-2 is in and out of the glove of Lucroy. A foul ball. A former St. Paul Saint, Brandon Kinsler. What a journey it's been to get to the big leagues. 1-2 on the way. Slider missed. Kinsler spent some time in Winnipeg as well in the Northern League. And was actually spotted and signed out of St. Paul. Line drive to left. Davis is right there, and Dozier is retired on a 2-2 offering. Kinsler gets the Twins leadoff hitter.
Yeah, left that one up a little bit. Dozier with a good swing, but it's the Fresh Eats and Free Seats ticket giveaway from Subway West Restaurants. For every $25 you spend at Subway, you'll earn a free terrace level ticket for select Brewers home games. Visit Brewers.com or Subway for details.
So 1 gone for Joe Mauer. That's with nobody on here in the 8th inning. A couple of doubles today. That's the big play of the game, or the big moment anyway. Brewers up 2-0 at the time in the 5th inning. Mauer was at the plate with 2 on, 2nd and 3rd. And there is his 3rd base hit. His 3 hits have come with nobody on base.
He does that back in the 4th inning, and things a little bit different. Actually, the 5th inning with 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. He struck out. And let him get his hits with nobody on, but in those situations, the Brewers able to get him out.
That was Matt Garza who struck him out with a slider that inning. And then the very next offensive frame for the Brewers, Reynolds hit the 2-run homer. Quick turnaround. Trevor Plouffe now in the air, center field. Sounded good. Gomez going back, and Gomez makes the catch. So calm and cool out there. Knew exactly where he was. Makes the play for the second out.
And another pitch that Brandon leaves up in the strike zone. When they're up there, they don't have much sink to them, and Plouffe gave this one a pretty good ride. Well, look at Gomez. Knew exactly where he was in that warning track and hauls it in. Never taking his eye off of it. That extra wide warning track out here at Miller Park. And no problem for Gogo out in center.
Jump for good measure. Swing and a miss by Arcia. 2 outs, man at first for the Twins in the 8th. Oswaldo Arcia, his brother Orlando, a big prospect in the Brewers organization, single A Brevard County. And he goes as the home plate umpire. No balls and 2 strikes. Oswaldo's younger brother, Orlando, is one of the top infield prospects the Brewers have. He's only 19. Playing at the high A level at Brevard County in the Florida State League. From Venezuela, Orlando Arcia is hitting .262. Has 10 stolen bases for the Manatees in Brevard County. And there's a line shot right center. Braun able to cut it off. That'll save a run as Mauer has to stop at third. So first and third is Arcia singles to right center. And a big bat coming up in Josh Willingham.
And hit that one hard on another pitch up in the strike zone, and that's just not where Brandon Kintzler is most effective. Most effective when he gets on top of that fastball, gets good sink, and gets the ground ball outs. Check it out, pretty straight and right down the middle of the plate. Arcia hits it hard into right field.
Maybe give him one more batter. It's a big one. Rob Wooten loosening in the bullpen. Brewers in control right now, up 5-0. But one swing of the bat could change that. 2 on, 2 out. Willingham takes a strike.
Yeah, there's the pitch he wants right there. That down and in sinker.
Arcia extends the inning for Willingham, who has not been retired tonight. A single and 2 walks. Chopper over to third base. That's a fair ball, and Reynolds can't find the handle, and a run's going to score. So that'll be an infield hit for Willingham. And an RBI, and it's 5-1. The shutout is over.
Yeah, playing behind the bag, and if he catches it and gets rid of it quickly, he's able to get the out, but just can't get the handle on it. It'll probably be a base hit.
And that's going to be the last hitter for Brandon Kintzler. So Kintzler is on his way out. Tough break for him. And it'll be Rob Wooten coming in. We'll set him up when we continue.
inning. 5-1 our score. The Twins getting a run here in the 8th on an infield hit and an RBI by Willingham. And those are the numbers, and Wooten just keeps climbing the ladder, getting some high leverage innings here lately, partner.
Yeah, Ron Rennie just continues to get more confidence in him every time he goes out there. He's only allowed 4 of 13 inherited runners to score. Mentioned that this Brewers bullpen has been thriving in these situations. Last pitched on Friday against the Cubs and tossed a scoreless inning.
Was the AAA closer in Nashville and has pitched well at the big league level. 2 on, 2 out. Kurt Suzuki, the batter, who is 0 for 3 tonight, the Twins catcher. First year in Minnesota. He finished the season last season in Oakland. Traded back to his original team. And that one's in there for a strike. And that's something Wooten has done a lot of. Get ahead with a breaking ball.
Yep, his slider's been good. He's been throwing split-fingered fastballs with 2 strikes. I think his slider's his best pitch right now. The get-over slider and then the put-away slider.
Big hitter for him, trying to keep the Twins down. Well, if you're the Brewers, not only is this a key batter for this inning, but you're trying to get to the finish line without having to deal with Dozier and Mauer. You have to retire the next 4 in order to do that. And they'll ask if he went. Yes, he did. Unable to check his swing, and it goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Didn't even need help on this. I mean, he goes all the way through.
See what he has for him here. Twins don't have a lot of speed on the bases. 1-2 on the way, and Suzuki able to lay off. Bunch of breaking balls from Rob Wooten. Kinsler started the inning with a couple of line drive outs, but gave up 3 hits. 2-2 misses. Not by much, maybe a little low. Full count now, and the runners will be on the move.
Yeah, a little bit down, but Fox Tracks, everything's a strike on Fox Tracks tonight. I like it though.
(5-1) Brewers. Here comes a 3-2 and a called strike 3. The Twins content to stand there and watch, and Wooten punches out Suzuki.
pitching on this homestand. Matt Garza today, 6 2/3 innings, no runs, best performance easily of the season in a Brewer uniform. He struck out 17 in his last 2 outings.
Yeah, he's been throwing the ball really well. Now, you look at what he did today. We all talked about early in the game, he needed to come out with great command. He not only had good command of the fastball, had a good breaking ball today. But one thing we saw a little bit different today, a little bit better pace and rhythm in the game. Seemed like he got the ball, knew what he wanted to do, and really went after the hitters.
Our Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game. Tonight's starter, Matt Garza. Hope to catch up with him. Brewers live postgame in the clubhouse after the ball game. Right now, his team staked to a 5-1 advantage over the Twins as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Brian.
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Here we go to the home 8th with Lucroy leading off. He'll be followed by Gomez and then Chris Davis. Brewers have 5 runs on 7 hits. Matt Garza with 6 1/3 scoreless here today. His earned run average now at .442, in line for his 3rd win as Lucroy sends that one deep to center field. Back there is Santana at the wall, and she's gone. Jonathan Lucroy, number 3 on the year. And it's 6-1 Milwaukee.
Yeah, got that run right back. Didn't take long. How about Lucroy, huh? Another 3-hit day. Just continues to impress. And he got a fastball out away from him and just drove it to the opposite field. Nobody does that better than Lucroy. Number 3 on the year, and the Brewers tack on another run.
And Lucroy's 3rd hit of the night. His first home run since May 10th when he homered against the Yankees. Hit that home run off CC Sabathia. Been a bit of a drought, but Lucroy with 3 hits, 2 RBIs tonight. As Gomez goes into right center. Santana makes a catch for out number 1. Santana was there. And maybe with a little more experience, he kind of mistimed his jump, and Lucroy able to get one over his glove.
Swarzak thinking, I wish I was at Target Field. That would have been an out of Target Field probably. That's a big ballpark there, but Lucroy happy he's not.
Yeah, Lucroy now hitting .325 with that home run. That's going to continue to launch him up the National League batting average leaders. He came in 6th in the league. What a year he's having. Davis, and that bounces over the glove of Mauer. That took a wicked hop on him. And Chris Davis is aboard. And that'll be a base hit, a bad hop single for Davis. His 2nd hit of the night. He's 2 for 4.
Yeah, that one ate up Mauer on the backhand. And not sure if he had time to get in front of it. Decided to play it on the backhand and then ended up in the right field.
Gardenhire will take the ball from Swarzak. 6-1 Brewers, and a pitching change here in the 8th.
enjoying this one so far. 9-1. Third base coach Ed Cedar. It's a little hazardous at third base. Not everything looks good in Phantom Cam, I guess. Look at the impact of the
ripple in the
low
arm.
5. Ouch. And if you do that, you know, throughout the course of a season, no wonder his arm always hurts.
And just think, he's in shape. What would it do to us?
Yeah, we don't need Phantom Cam on us at all.
Anything.
I'd like to get a golf swing on there, though. Just I've been hooking the ball a little bit. Brian Dunsing is the new pitcher for the Twins.
Yep, 22nd appearance for him. He made 73 appearances last year for the Twins. That's a lot of work. Almost half the games.
In to face Scooter Gennett. A Lucroy home run to start this 8th inning. 6-1 Brewers. Each club with 9 hits, but the Twins have only managed 1 run.
I hate to start going through the scorebook and the statistic, because the Twins have another 3 outs to go, but the thing that's plagued them all year are runners in scoring position. 1 for 8. They've had opportunities.
Now the Twins have stranded 8. Gennett a bouncer to second. Dozier to Escobar. Over to first and Mauer for a double play to end the inning. To the 9th we go. Brewers lead 6-1. Last call for the Twins. This Brewers Twins series on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Marshfield Clinic. And we go to the 9th inning now. 6-1 Milwaukee. And Rob Wooten is back on the mound. And if my math serves me correctly, Rock, this is a save situation for him.
He came in a 5-1 game. He had a couple of men on, so the on-deck hitter when he came in was represented the tying run, so this would be a save if he's able to get through this inning.
Deals a strike to Escobar. 1 ball, 1 strike. Escobar, Santana, and the pitcher spot. The Columbia St. Mary save tracker for Rob Wooten. Certainly familiar closing games at the AAA level. It's been their closer in Nashville the last 2 seasons. Escobar is 0 for 3. Twins shortstop. 6-1 Milwaukee trying to snap a 5-game losing streak to the Minnesota Twins. Twins swept them in a 4-game series last year. There's a base hit. Clean single to center field. Escobar, a leadoff hit.
And it's going to be a while before this will become a save situation for K-Rod. It should they get to that if the Twins are able to load the bases. It would become a save situation for him, so he's starting to walk around, get loose.
That's one of those rare occurrences where a current save situation for the pitcher on the mound would not be for the next pitcher if there were to be a change here. But again, Wooten came into the game with the Brewers up 4 runs and 2 on base, which puts the tying run on deck. This would be his first career major league save if he can finish this inning. Last year at AAA Nashville, before he was called up, Wooten had 20 saves. There was a year in the lower levels of the Brewers minor leagues where he saved 29 one year. Actually, when he split between A ball and AA, combined for a 29 save season. Little tapper over the head of Wooten, and no chance for Jeanette with the speedy Santana running. So now 2 on with nobody out to start the 9th. Infield hit for Santana, his 2nd of the game.
Not much you can do about that. I mean, Scooter, even if he gets it right away, I don't think he's going to be able to make a throw to get Santana. He runs too well. Well, so the screws are tightening up a little bit. One more base runner, you might see K-Rod. Of course, right now he's sat down and Zach Duke is up and throwing.
2 on, nobody out. Pinch hitter off the Twins bench, Josmiel Pinto. 3rd pitch hitter used tonight for Gardenhire. Twins have out hit the Brewers 11-9. Minnesota with 1 run on the board. Starting to get into the dangerous part of the order next with Dozier and then Mauer. Trevor Plouffe, their top RBI man. Wooten could use a ground ball here. He gets a lot of them. And a line drive single to start the inning by Escobar. Infield hit by Santana. 2-2.
And then right after him down the middle up in the strike zone, and Pinto just found it straight back. Got away with that one. Now you get into splitter territory with 2 strikes.
Dozier on deck. Their top home run man. And a bouncing ball. Segura's got it. Flips to Jeanette. The throw to first. In time. Double play.
That's just what you were looking for right there. He threw his splitter. He got the ground ball, and a nice athletic move by Segura to make the adjustment. Didn't try to be too cute with the throw either. He knew who was running down the first baseline. A lot of times we'll do that fancy backhand flip. Not this time. Two-handed it, and nice flip to Jeanette, and they got the double play. Well done.
He put it right in Jeanette's wheelhouse so he could catch and throw and protect himself. And Jeanette rolls right through it, and a double play. 2 gone in the inning. Dozier takes a strike. I'll tell you, Segura covered some ground there, didn't he?
Off the bat, it looked like it might have gone into center field.
So quick. The end of the play when it's in his glove was the easiest part. He covered some ground just to be in a position to make that play.
It's that first step. You get that good quick first step, that good back drop step, and the rest of the play is easy.
In there, strike two. Rob Wooten looking for his first career save to make Garza a winner. The 1-2 pitch outside. Lucroy smothers it, saves a run. Twins down to their last strike. Got Mauer on deck. Bouncing ball to third. Reynolds coming in. Bare hands, no throw. That'll be an infield hit and an RBI. So Dozier, the second infield hit of the inning against Rob Wooten. And Renick's on his way out here.
He doesn't want to mess around. He got Mauer up. Wants to bring in Zach Duke. Still not a safe situation for K-Rod, so he's not going to bring him in. Too bad for Wooten. He made a good pitch. Dozier beat it into the ground. How many of those have the Twins had today? 3 of them.
Oh, that's tough to take. Wooten on his way out. No save tonight. Here comes Duke to face Mauer. They've only scored 2 runs, though. Brewers lead by 4. But Ron Renick not in a sentimental mood, as Wooten was a strike away and an out away from a save, his first career big league save. He's got Joe Mauer coming up, so Zach Duke, the left-hander, is on to face him.
It'll be 1 and out. He's in there for Joe Mauer. If Mauer reaches, it becomes a save situation again, and K-Rod will probably come in for Trevor Plouffe. And you see Zach's numbers, very good. We're going to get Mauer with a man on base. He's already got 3 hits tonight.
K-Rod's been throwing in the bullpen. Mauer, his overall batting average is .276, but against left-handed pitching, he's batting just .214. Runner at first, 2 outs. Brewers lead by 4, and Duke misses outside. Lucroy thought that was a strike.
Mike McClinsky's had a rough day behind home plate. That's an understatement. That's a good pitch.
That one's in there. Ball and a strike. Mauer has 3 hits tonight, but probably had the biggest strikeout of the game when Garza punched him out on 3 pitches with 2 on in the 5th. Put that one by him. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 1-2.
And you want to be careful with anything out away from Mauer up in the strike zone. Down in the dirt, that's one thing, but you want to get him out in. And that's what Zach did right there. Fastball, 90 miles an hour, in on his hands.
Again, the Twins down to their last strike. Sidearm breaking ball is fouled off by Mauer.
He hangs right in there in the outside corner. I don't care if it's a lefty or a right-hander. But having a tough time against lefties, normally much better than that.
Twins swept the Brewers in this 4-game interleague series last year. They won 5 in a row. Trying to end it here. The 1-2 and a breaking ball fouled away. That one hung up there. Count remains at 1-2. Just shy of 29,000 in attendance tonight at Miller Park. Do it again. Another 1-2 and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Zach Duke punches out Mauer, and the Brewers win 6-2. Matt Garza's the winner tonight. His 3rd win of the season. His first since May 5th. Twins out hit the Brew Crew 12-9, but Milwaukee breaks the slide against Minnesota. They win the first of this 2-game series at Miller Park. And the Brewers now with 5 wins on the homestand compared to just 2 losses. Let's check in with Craig Cashon. It's time for Brewers Live.
Well, it turned out to be a very entertaining